Let's discuss Sammy Sasso's stellar weekend and really a stellar season so far by the Buckeye Sammy Sasso. Now, Sammy Sasso, let's discuss kind of his progression throughout the season. At the beginning of the season, he started out number five in the country at 149 pounds. Why was he number five? Well, coming out of high school, two-time PIAA state champion, and he placed top three all four of his seasons. He was Ironman champ, Beast of the East champ, as well as a Fargo champ. He's from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. But going into college, he was 19-2 as a redshirt with wins over Josh Maruka from Arizona State, as well as Brayton Lee, who we'll get to that in just a minute. But right now in college wrestling, he is number 2 in the country at 149 pounds. And there's a reason, obviously, he's on number 2 in the country. Earlier in the season, he did kind of have a blemish. He was pinned by Brent Moore of Virginia Tech during that duel with Ohio State. Big upset for Ohio State as well as for Sammy Sasso, obviously. And he kind of got caught going in off of a shot to Brent Moore, got caught and pinned and stuck. And we saw that once Sasso wrestled Moore again, he did end up avenging that victory at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. Unfortunately for him, he did lose to Brayton Lee at Cliff Keen. He lost 6-4. It was a close match. But, a win and a loss there. Since then, one of his best wins has come over Josh Maruka of Arizona State. And then, obviously, last weekend, he had a stellar weekend, beating Pat Lugo 2-1 in overtime in the Ohio State versus Iowa match, as well as beating Brayton Lee 4-2. Now, discussing each of these matches, the first match with Pat Lugo, what a match. I mean, these two guys just going at it the whole time. Sasso is a little bit more defensive, whereas Lugo is on the attack the whole time. And if you're a Hawkeyes fan, yes, I kind of see where you were a little bit upset. Where's the stall call? Where's, the locked hands was another question. I don't think there's necessarily locked hands, but then really the biggest question at the end of the match came when whether Lugo had the cradle locked in off of a shot, and did he actually have two there on Sasso? That's the question. Personally, I thought he did have it, even though I was kind of cheering on Sasso. I thought that he had two there at the end was Lugo, but the refs didn't see it that way, and ultimately Sasso won that match. And then Brayton Lee match, another one where Sasso was a little bit more defensive, but he kind of learned from that Lugo match that he had to be a little bit more on the offense. Wasn't as much, still kind of more defensive, and ended up kind of scoring off of Brayton Lee's shots, but he did get that victory. Now, the thing is, why is he number 2 now? Why isn't he number 1 since Lugo was number 1? Very, very good question, very rational question, and the reason is this. So, Sasso was number 6 in the country coming into this weekend. He beat number 1 Lugo and number 4 in Brayton Lee. Now, Boo Llewellyn is number 1 in the country now from Oklahoma State, and recently he had a win over Max Thompson of UNI, former All-American. And the reason, as I said, that that Sasso isn't number 1 is because Llewellyn's undefeated, and Sasso does have a couple of those blemishes. He has a couple of losses, and he hasn't wrestled Llewellyn. If you wrestle him, you beat him, then he'll be number 1. That's kind of how that works. But Lugo, throughout the season, this has been a weight that's just been constantly in fluctuation, constantly changing. Lugo had a win over Austin O'Connor, who was number 1 at the beginning of the season going into Midlands, but ultimately lost at Midlands and when Lugo beat him. And then, Brock Mahler just sitting on the outside. Doesn't have any wins over any of these top guys, so that's kind of hurting, even though he is 20-1. Now, how these new rankings go: Llewellyn's number 1, Sasso 2, Lugo 3, Brayton Lee 4, and Austin O'Connor 5. With then obviously, like I said, Mahler falling in at number 6. Sammy Sasso, can he be a national champion? Let me know in the comments below.